Hello again and welcome back to part 2 of the CSEC English A, May-June 2022 Paper 1 solutions. And we are going to be jumping right in to items 42 to 46, which begins with the following passage. More than a quarter century ago, we were forced to wrestle with the thorny issue of casinos and the supposed ills and benefits which flow from them. In the end, a sensible solution emerged: allow some to remain while controlling their growth. Interestingly, we may argue about casinos, but we have given the green light to arcades where people gamble day and night. Some Caribbean governments have seemingly opened the door to yet another round of possible emotional debate with the decision to allow cruise ships laying at anchor to operate their casinos in their waters. Is this a prelude to opening casinos on land? Supporters of casino gambling have always said that casinos can and do function in a society without the moral decay that is routinely associated with them. Like most things, the pros and the cons about casino gambling are grossly exaggerated. Those who favor them argue that casinos on land should be seen as another attraction that can be added to the country's tourism industry if prudent controls are imposed. For example, the Bahamas, Antigua, Suriname, and St. Martin are a few places where casino gambling is allowed, and tourism authorities in those places have said that casino gambling has proven to be a stimulus to their tourism sector without the moral decay that is routinely associated with casinos. Opponents, on the other hand, insist that casinos lead to gambling addiction, crime, and worse, a debasement of society. So, with everything else that is happening in our island, an upsurge of gangs, drugs, and violent behavior among our youths, that is the last thing that we may need right now. However, the case of cruise ships keeping casinos open while docked on shore may cause little, if any, harm to the country and its people, since few locals will have access to them. He says, let's face it, Caribbean people gamble at bingo to raise money for churches. They flock to tracks to watch horses run and bet millions annually on the outcome of the races. Many play lotto daily and the English football pools weekly. So, if, as some are saying, this move of allowing gambling on cruise ships is in port may be the first step to casinos on land, then we will not be totally surprised. So, let the debate begin. So, again, this is our passage, and we are going to be looking at our items. So, item number 1, the expression given the green light to arcade. And when you're given the green light, it means you're given the opportunity to do something. You're given the go ahead. So, in other words, or in essence, you're giving them permission. Now, the Bahamas, Antigua, Suriname, and St. Martin, they are mentioned. But why were they mentioned? They were mentioned as countries that already have casinos. And they talked about the benefits, yes, and that no moral decay was happening, even though they had the casinos there. And so the correct answer to item number 43 is D. Prove that gambling is a stimulus to tourism. Item 44. An expression the writer uses to introduce an opposing view in paragraph 5. So let's go back to paragraph 5. So paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opponents on the other hand. So right here we have on the other hand. That is used to signal an opposing view. Let's see. C says on the other hand. So that is where our answer is. Item number 45. Which argument below is not used in support of casino gambling? So if you're using arguments to support, you're going to talk about all the benefits. Yes, it is beneficial. It can be used. Yes, it's a part of everyday life. Yeah, but which is not. You're not going to talk about the negative effects, because when you talk about the negative effects, you're deterring them from making the decision that you want. So the argument that was not used in support is that it degrades the values of society. Now, item 46. To what does this is the last thing that we may need right now? Lines 18 to 19 referring to. So the last thing that they said that they needed. So let's go to that. Casino gambling led to gambling addiction, crime, and worse, a debasement of society. And this is saying that is the last thing that we need with all that's going on. And so the answer is A. right, let's move on to items 47 to 54. It said, read the following letter carefully and then answer items 47 to 54 on the basis of what is stated or what is implied. This is an open request to try to find who is the brain behind the traffic management in Palo. Does anybody know? I have tried traffic branch, not them. Highways, not them. Planning and development, not them. In fact, nobody wants to take responsibility for certain decisions and the mess that results. For example, Mission Road was made a one-way north to south. Great idea. It worked. No traffic jams. In fact, many people were charged for going the wrong way up a one-way street. Then, suddenly, it's back to two-way and the traffic for so. Same is true for Stoke Street. Somebody changed this stop sign at the corner for a few weeks, then they changed it back. Nobody knows why. But the best is Celestial Road in St. John, which is Wrecker Heaven. Somebody made the road, which, apart from Broadway, is the widest street in Palo, a no parking street, either side, anytime, and the wrecker is profiting from this. There are 4 major office buildings on this road, all of which provide underground parking for staff. So some, usually lower paid, have to park elsewhere, and these are the persons whose cars the wreckers is taking away all day, every day. Again, the small man suffers. Oh, there's an exception. If you have a Canadian High Commission sticker, you can park and the wrecker will not touch your diplomatic car. Maybe we could all become diplomats. Then again, the 2 narrow streets in Palo allow parking. Try Delano Street off Abbey Lane. You can hardly pass. Who is the brain behind this mess? It seems the more cars we put on the road, the less parking somebody wants to allow. Who is this brain? No doubt a small man with a big, big car who has no name. But this person is definitely displaying some sarcasm here. Who is the brain behind this mess? Alright, so let us look at our questions. Item 47. The writer use of the word brain, line 1, is meant to. Is he exaggerating, making fun of the poor decisions, creating a comparison of the streets, or complimenting those responsible? We definitely know that he's not complimenting anybody. He is, of course, thinking about the poor decisions that have been made, and he's making fun of it. Like, who did this? Item 48. When the writer repeats not them in paragraph 1, he implies. So everywhere he turns for questions to be answered, it's not them. Nobody wants the answer. So what it is displaying or implying is that nobody wants to take responsibility for the traffic situation. Everybody is saying, oh, it's not us, we're not responsible. But somebody has to be responsible. Item 49. Stoke Street, line 7, Celestial Road, line 9, and Delano Street, line 17, can best be described as number 49. Those are all used in support of the writer's case. So you use the smallest roads to have parking. You turn this road into a one-way. You turn that road into a one-way, then you change it back. Yes, he's supporting his argument that traffic is a mess. Yes, nobody wants to take responsibility for it. Item 50. The writer's tone can be described as, there is absolutely no need for any lengthy discussion. This person is obviously being sarcastic. Who is the brain behind this? Yes, this person is smart. Not smart, because it's a mess that has been created and nobody wants to take responsibility. Item 51. The last sentence of the letter is similar to paragraph 5 because both of them. So what does the last sentence and paragraph 5 have in common? Item 51. He is expressing disgust, not understanding why somebody would make decisions like that are so poor and affecting people so drastically. Item 52. The author of this passage is most likely definitely not a pedestrian. If you don't have a car, you don't have that struggle, you're not paying it any mind. A traffic warden, that's your job. you're not going to be really stressing about it. And definitely not a government official, because they have been exempted from certain things. So it's the common man, the motorist, right here, has his vehicle, have to navigate narrow roads with vehicles parked on the side, or not knowing where to drive because signs are changing so rapidly. Definitely a motorist. Item number 53. Again, the small man suffers. Line 14 implies that the small man is the small man ignored, disadvantaged, the one who is wrong, or discriminated against. Item 53. Yes, so if the small man is suffering, the small man is at a disadvantage. He's not benefiting from this. It doesn't help him at all. Actually makes his life worse. Item 54. The letter was most likely published in a It was most likely published in a what? Definitely a newspaper.